Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to make this video out on the water, but in actuality I got sick and I've just been resting and I have not been able to go fishing in a couple of weeks. Kind of disappointing, but that is what it is. I bought my kayak back in 2019, brand new from the local shop, Estero River Outfitters, and it is a fantastic kayak. I'll tell people I have a kayak and they're like, "Oh, you have a kayak?" I'm like, "No, I have a kayak." But this 2019 Hobie Pro Angler 14 is an absolute monster. I absolutely love it. But when I bought it, I bought way too much stuff for it. I overrigged the crap out of it. And in truth, I have not used it much until recently. I would walk by it every day. It lives in my garage. One of the reasons why I got it and not a boat. And it got to the point where my wife's like, "You don't use it, you should just sell it." And I really don't want to, but my goal is to use it more than I did. So I'm going to try, and I have been out a couple of times already, and I plan on doing a lot more, especially over the summer. I have a very busy next couple of weeks, but then once we hit July and onward, I'm really going to try to make it out a lot more. But anyway, I updated the kayak back in 2019. Not all these things were available, and as time goes by, people and companies develop products. So I've updated the kayak for 2023. I'm going to take you from front to back, and we're going to go over some of those changes. Let's go. Starting right here up front, keel guard. I fish down here in Southwest Florida. We've got oyster beds, and we launch from boat ramps and stuff like that. And my keel, this piece right here underneath the keel guard, has gotten kind of scuffed up. Not like terrible where there would be a hole, but definitely scuffed up. Now this is a Burley Pro keel guard, and it did cost like $55, but this will preserve the integrity of that keel guard for when I land and launch the kayak, and it will definitely help. So it's something that I don't mind spending money on to help keep this in good working order. Moving back, I bought the 21-inch A-Trail. I saw some people do this initially, and I really like the way that it looks. So I made a separate video on this install, but I basically got a 21-inch A-Trail. I drilled holes into these mounting plates, got some mounting brackets, and mounted it up here. I don't really use my fish finder like a true fish finder. I don't touch it a lot. I mainly use it for navigation. I don't fish super deep water where I would use it as a traditional fish finder, but to navigate the 10,000 islands, I need it, and I basically just put it up there and forget about it. So having it up here further away is not a big deal for me, and that is the second thing that I updated for 2023. Now, number 3 is a bit embarrassing, but it is what it is. I have lost 2 paddles on my kayak. I mount them on the side of the A-Trail. I have it full because, like I mentioned, I do fish shallow water, so I do use my paddle more so than others that fish big wide open lakes. We do have sandbars, oyster bars, pretty shallow areas where I do need to paddle. So I do have my paddle readily available at all times, and unfortunately I've lost 2 paddles. So this is something that I should have gotten a long time ago, but I just didn't. This is how I mount my paddle. It's a Yak Attack Roto something or other, and I basically just have it right here on the side. But I got a Hobie paddle leash, and basically if the paddle falls off while I'm on the water, because when it falls off it sometimes doesn't make a sound, I won't lose it. And $30 because I had to buy another paddle. It was, I don't know, less than $100, but whatever. Just something that, I mean, I bought that initially. That was the first thing that I bought, was the leash for the drive, but I should have bought a leash for the paddle also. I had gone out with my son and the scouts on a little kayak trip, and I hadn't really been out a lot, and I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 4 inches off my waist, 4 to 6 inches off my waist. I lost, in the last 5 years, I've lost about 55 pounds or so. And I lost a lot of cushioning from my rear end, my derriere. And we went out for a kayak camping trip, and let me tell you something, my butt was so sore, especially my right cheek, that sciatic nerve area. It was so uncomfortable that I bought this product, the kayak cushion. I only got the bottom part. I wanted to see how it went, and let me tell you something, this kayak cushion is worth its weight in gold. The last time I was out for a number of hours, and there was absolutely zero discomfort. I paddled a good 6 or 8 miles overall, and totally comfortable whatsoever. I am 195 pounds now, and I got the firm version, and it was extremely comfortable. So if you are struggling with some discomfort in that Hobie seat, the Hobie seat is very comfortable, but sometimes it could be not comfortable. I highly recommend the kayak cushion. Moving along, this is how I used to mount my catchboard or mounting board, bump plate, whatever you want to call it, and I absolutely hated it. I used to keep my tackle up here, and I'd have to take this off, I'd have to take the net off just to get into the hatch, and I absolutely hated having that there, but I did not have another option. Like I mentioned, or maybe in a different take, I was trying to create a catchboard slide here during COVID, but company told me $15,000 for a prototype, and I said no thanks. So I actually bought the Yak Gadget mounts. So this will mount right back here behind my seat. It stays out of sight, out of mind. It mounts right onto the base of the Vantage seat, and it fits absolutely perfectly in there. The first time I went out, I had this mounted here with the straps. Went down the highway, no issues whatsoever. Just having that off the front hatch where I'm always looking, my eyes are always forward. It just aesthetically pleasing to me. It just falls in line with making this kayak more streamlined, and I love having that bump plate or catchboard, whatever you want to call it, behind my seat, out of the way. And then last but not least, I upgraded over the Hobie H-Crate to the Yak Attack BlackPak. This will enable me to carry 10 rods straight up and down. I guess I could get some rods and throw them in there to show you how it would look. Let's do that right. 10 rods. I just like it so much more than the H-Crate because it does have the 6 rod holders versus the 4, and there's just more space to do stuff. I have the Burley Pro orb here, and even with that orb in place and the 6 rods, I can still open that crate and get inside to my tackle. I don't take a ton of tackle, but I'm able to get to it. And that crate is just far superior. I'm going to do a separate video comparing the Yak Attack BlackPak, and this is the new one. I didn't like the old design, that's why I went with the H-Crate, but this one is far superior. So we'll do a comparison video, and I'm going to do a rod and reel video for saltwater fishing down here in Florida eventually. I'm in the process of upgrading all my rods and reels to match. I like the Spin Fishers, as you could tell by the gold. That's my new tarpon rod right there. It's a Spin Fisher 5500, and I'm switching over to Fenwick rods. So I've got a couple things to do before I do that, and yeah, so I've really updated this a lot to make it more streamlined. It looks fantastic from the behind. It doesn't have a ton of stuff hanging over the sides, and I just really looking forward to getting back out on the water. I showed you a bunch of the upgrades that I made on my kayak for 2023. Like I said, as more companies are out there, as more people are using these kayaks, I think of ways that things can be improved, and new products, something that people hadn't thought of before. So necessity is the mother of all invention, and look forward to upgrading it a little bit more. I still have a couple of things that I want to do. I want to get that Tim Percy electronics mounting plate up front, just clean up my wires a little bit more because I moved the fish finder up front. I have a lot of extra wire underneath there. I just want to clean it up a little bit, and what I have there is just an old cutting board that I got at Home Goods for a couple of dollars, and it doesn't quite fit right. It isn't a great fit, but that Tim Percy one is the cream of the crop. For a couple of months now, I've been trying to talk myself out of getting the Busby tackle system and upgrading from the Plano that I have, the Planos, and the more that I think about it, the more I'm probably going to do it eventually. I used to take all of my soft plastics in a Z-Man bait lockers, and I'm really going to cut down on the amount of soft plastics that I bring, because one, I don't use them all on a single trip, and I would bring stuff that I would probably never use. You know, winter fishing, you want to bring smaller baits. In the summer, I'm really only going to bring large baits, so just want to update that a little bit also. And if I wind up using the kayak a lot more than I have been over the past couple of years, I might want to think about putting an electronic motor on the back, or an electric motor on the back. Just something that would help me get from point A to point B a little bit faster, especially when we do the runouts out in Everglades, or if I want to go offshore once some of these kayak launches reopen after Hurricane Ian. Go 3 miles offshore and go searching for grouper or searching for triple tail or whatever. You just can't do that in the creeks and in the Everglades, so I would have to go offshore. I'm not gonna jump into the motor business until I start using this more, otherwise that is wasted money. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a couple of updates that I've done over the past couple of months for 2023. Look forward to getting out on the water. That's gonna do it for this one. Like and subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video.